Imagine a room full of strangers. Nobody knows each other. Nobody wants to share the last chair. Then someone puts a flag on the table. And suddenly, the room has a word. We. That is the strange magic of nationalism. It takes people who will never meet and tells them they belong to the same story. Not just the same government. Not just the same map. The same people. And that can be beautiful. It can also get very weird, because a nation is not something you can touch. You can touch a hill. You can touch a river. You can touch a border fence if nobody yells at you. But a nation is mostly an idea that lives inside millions of heads at once. Nationalism says that idea should matter more than the king, than the empire, than the tribe, than the church, than the rich guy with the biggest chair. The people are the real owner of the country. That is the powerful part. Before nationalism, most people did not wake up thinking, I am part of a giant political family with strangers 300 miles away. They belong to a village, a ruler, a religion, a local boss with a suspicious hat. Nationalism stretched the word us. It said the farmer, the factory worker, the teacher, the soldier, the person you will never meet, they are all somehow yours. This is why nationalism can feel warm. It gives strangers a shared home. It turns a map into a family photo. It turns a flag into a blanket. And sometimes people really need that. If an empire treats you like furniture, nationalism can say, we are not furniture. If a ruler says the country belongs to him, nationalism can say, no, it belongs to us. If people are scattered, humiliated, or ignored, nationalism can give them dignity. So nationalism is not just people shouting at flags. At its best, it can be a way for ordinary people to imagine themselves as a public. But here's the trouble. The same story that says we also has to decide who is not we. And that is where the red line appears. Every nation needs ingredients. Ingredient 1, a shared place. Ingredient 2, a shared memory. Ingredient 3, a shared symbol. Ingredient 4, a shared enemy, if the story wants to get spicy. The place is usually a map. The memory is usually a story. The symbol is usually a flag. And the enemy is usually whoever makes the story feel simple. Schools help teach the story. Holidays help repeat it. Songs help make it emotional. Passports help make it official. Borders help make it visible. After a while, the story feels natural, like the nation was always there, waiting under the ground, like a fossil with a theme song. But nations are made. They are made with maps, schools, laws, languages, memorials, and a lot of people pointing at the same flag. That does not make them fake. Money is made too. So are calendars. So are birthday parties. Made things can be very real when everyone agrees to act like they are real. The useful side of nationalism is that it can make people care bigger. You might pay taxes for a school your own child will never enter. You might help after a flood in a town you have never seen. You might defend rights for people who do not look like you, because they are part of the same we. That is nationalism working as glue. But glue can become a trap. The danger begins when the nation stops being a shared home and becomes a purity test. Then the question changes. It is no longer, how do we live together? It becomes, who is real enough to belong? The accent becomes suspicious. The religion becomes suspicious. The last name becomes suspicious. The neighbor becomes a question mark. And once belonging becomes a test, someone will volunteer to grade it. This is how nationalism can turn from love of home into fear of contamination. The flag stops being a blanket. It becomes a filter. Some people pass through. Some people get stuck outside. Another danger is memory. Every nation tells stories about its past. Some stories are inspiring, some are painful. Some are carefully edited. Nationalism often likes the clean version. The brave ancestors, the innocent people, the evil outsiders, the glorious suffering, the golden age, which usually looked worse if you had to live there. A clean memory feels comforting, but it can make a country allergic to truth. If loving the nation means never admitting what it did, then history becomes a mirror with a blanket over it. The third danger is obedience. If the nation is sacred, then criticism can sound like betrayal. The journalist is not asking questions. They are insulting the nation. The protester is not demanding rights. They are embarrassing the nation. The minority is not asking to belong. They are threatening the nation. This is when a flag gets very heavy. It stops waving above people. It starts sitting on them. So what is the difference between a healthy national feeling and the dangerous kind? Ask a few small questions. Can someone belong without being identical? Can the country be criticized and still be loved? Does the story make people care for strangers or hate strangers more efficiently? Does it make the we bigger or smaller? If the nation helps people share responsibility, it can be a powerful tool. If it demands that everyone become the same person, it is no longer a home. It is a costume. And that is the simple trouble with nationalism. It begins with a generous miracle. Strangers become my people. But if you are not careful, it ends with a cruel reversal. My people become strangers.